Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Living in Paradise. My name is Iman Walji. I'm your host, and I'm so excited to get into this episode and honestly to just get the ball rolling with this podcast because your girl has been slacking, okay? I have been really slacking. I've probably been going around saying that I want to start a podcast for literal years at this point, like literal years. And it wasn't until maybe like 5 or 6 months ago that I became super intentional with this podcast and wanting to start it. And that's 5 or 6 months too late, in my opinion. I was just waiting for what? I don't know. But that's what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about getting over yourself and doing the damn thing, pulling the trigger on whatever it is that you have been wanting to do for so long, but for whatever reason, you have not taken any action yet. So let's talk about it. First of all, I want to start by saying that there's never going to be a perfect time. So, for example, I had another idea for what I wanted to discuss in this first episode, and I had all of my topics like ready to go. I had all of them like in order of what I wanted to talk about. I invested a little bit in some equipment. I just wanted everything to be perfect. And then I woke up one day and realized that like there's never going to be a perfect time. I was literally just stalling. So I said, screw the plan, because the plan was holding me back. It was stopping me from taking any action. And I just said, let me just do it. Like, just start. Just do the damn thing, because that's the only answer, really. If there's anything you take from this, it's just that. Just do it. But don't worry, we're going to dive into it a little bit deeper. So everyone's always talking about this, like, main character energy and, being the main character of your life and all this stuff. But the truth is, you can't be a main character of your life if you're spending your whole life waiting backstage. Because that's not what main characters do. They're not waiting backstage for the perfect moment or for the perfect timing or for inspiration to strike. Like, they are out there performing. And yes, I mean, in an ideal world, you have an audience waiting for you. There are people that pull the curtains. You have your side characters, your supporting cast. There's a lighting guy and a camera crew, and it all comes together so serendipitously, and everything is just waiting for that moment for you to take the stage. And that is super ideal, and that may or may not happen for you. But the reality is that you might find that there's literally nobody in the audience because no one knows or cares about who you are. The supporting cast doesn't really exist because they're kind of just out there doing their own thing. The lighting guy's running late. Like, nothing is actually ready. Like, there is no perfect environment. But the number one rule of showbiz is that the show must go on, baby. You still got to get out there and do your thing. And what you're going to find is that once you're out there on that stage, just doing the thing, all those other pieces will fall into place. The audience will notice you. They'll start to pour in. The lighting guy's going to be like, oh shit, like, she started without me, better go, or whatever. Like, all of those other things will fall into place. And the real kicker is that the longer you wait backstage, the longer it's going to take for you to realize that backstage doesn't even exist, because life is happening in real time. Life is happening right now. Your time slot is your time slot. You're not getting it back. Once the day is gone, it's gone. You cannot rewind it. Once this hour is gone, it's gone. So you're already out there performing. Like, you're already out here in life performing. And you know what? It's not scary, because once you realize that, then you need to take a good hard look at your life and ask yourself, am I showing up as the main character? Am I taking control? Am I taking the opportunities that are just waiting for me to take them? Or am I just being a side character in my own life? You need to be real. Like, be real and really assess your life, because you are already on stage performing. It's happening now. This is real life. There is no do-over. And once it's gone, it's gone. That's it. It's done. It's just done. And you cannot control like anything except right now. And so you need to take what's yours, baby. Like, all those white girls with the Carpe Diem tattoos, I swear they are onto something, because we need to Carpe Diem the hell out of this mofo, okay? So something that really like struck a chord with me that I want to share with you guys is I was sitting in this online Tony Robbins seminar. If you don't know who Tony Robbins is, he is like the world's biggest motivational coach. You should probably know who he is. If you're in the self-development world, you definitely know who he is. But anyway, he said something that really struck a chord. And he was speaking specifically in regard to starting a business. But I think this statement can be applied to anything, any area of your life, whatever it is that you want to start, whatever it is you want to do. And what he said was that people often overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years. And so the reason that like literally hit me like a truck is because it made me like really realize that because we live in this world that's just like filled with instant gratification, when we don't see the results that we want right away, we're so ready to like throw in the towel. But when you have that big picture thinking, it makes you realize that like if you just start now, like imagine what you could have in 10 years. Like, look, I'm 24 years old, and I was like, if I just started doing all of the things that I wanted to do right now and I was consistent, by the time I'm 34, I could have a whole empire under me. And that's amazing, and that's exciting. And having that big picture, it gives you a sense of purpose. It's a vision that you're working towards, right? But then you have to let it dawn on you that like there's this 10-year vision that you have, but the only moment that you actually have control over is this one right now. You don't have control over the next year or the next 10 minutes even. Like you don't know what life is going to throw at you. You only know what you can do right now. And so I want you guys to like really ask yourself if what you're doing right now is contributing towards that vision that you have for yourself. And if you don't have a vision, then that's where I suggest you start. Think about what you want out of your life in 10 years, 20 years, whatever it is. Think about the big picture. Because like I said, that's what gives you a sense of purpose. That's what's going to wake you up in the morning, and that's what you're doing it for, right? That's that sense of drive, ambition, and passion. Like let yourself be fueled by that passion and that excitement and that vision. This can also get overwhelming. For those of you who have a vision, this statement might resonate with you, but me personally, like I definitely have a vision. I think about 10 years from now and all that I want to accomplish, and sometimes it kind of feels stressful because I have this like sense of urgency, and I'm kind of like, oh shit, well I better do all of it right now. Like I better, like there's so many things to get done like right now, and I don't even know where to start, and it almost paralyzes me, and it feels like I'm running on this hamster wheel, and my thoughts are just running about all of the things that I want to do and all the things that I want to see in life, and I'm getting nowhere. I'm just running in the same place. And so the best way to combat that is to just focus on today. So the big picture is something that you want to be clear about and that you want to use as a reminder and, like I said, a sense of purpose. But you need to focus on what you can control today. So basically, like just get lost in the baby steps. We all know that the baby steps are important, but sometimes it's easy to forget about the baby steps when you're so caught up in the big picture. So just remember that if you just do one thing every day, it'll get you there. Did you do one thing today? That is, even if it's the tiniest step, a step towards that big picture. And then you take the smallest step every single day. That's okay. It's just this kind of intricate balance between fueling yourself with this sense of purpose and passion, but then also you have to give yourself a sense of direction. And that's where the baby steps come in. And that's going to be your sense of direction and your compass. The baby steps are literally the compass. That's something that I think is really important to keep in mind. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is fear, because I find that a lot of the times, like, you know, someone might have the vision. And this was honestly, guys, this was me. Like I had the vision, I had the excitement, I had the plan. Obviously, like I said, I was creating this plan and trying to make this perfect. And yet I was not starting. Like I said, for me, it was this podcast. This is something I'm really excited about. And yet I wasn't starting. And so most people who are in that scenario where it's like, okay, like everything is there. I know why I'm doing this. I know what I want out of my life. And this makes me really happy. And so I just want to do it. But you're not starting. You're probably just scared, because usually we allow our fears to control us. And that's honestly, that's BS in my opinion. Like a fear-driven life, that's crazy. We need to be living passionate, happy, fulfilling lives. And if we allow our fear to control us, we are not going to be living that. So for me personally, I have this big fear of what people are going to think. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to act like I'm above it. But this is definitely something that has been racking my brain forever and ever. And so you can imagine that with this freaking podcast, it's a public platform. Like I'm going to post this online, and once it's out there, it's out there. I'm scared of like people seeing it and what they're going to say. And that was stopping me for a while. It was like, I was so scared of like just somebody being like, who does this girl think she is? And at some point I realized that hasn't even happened yet. So like, why am I scared of something that isn't even true? Like, it's not even true. It's one of those things where it's like, you just cross that bridge when you get there. And being scared of the what ifs is just absolutely ridiculous. But okay, fine. Benefit of the doubt. It is still a very real possibility that people will watch this and think that I'm crazy, or I don't know, just be shady towards it, whatever. And to that, I will say that the people who see you going after what makes you happy or doing something that makes you happy, if they're not happy, it's probably for you, it's probably because they're not happy in their own lives. And if you're that person, like if you see somebody doing what makes them happy and you're shady about it, or you have to say something negative about it, I hate to break it to you, but use a side character, okay? And that's when you need to reassess your life and focus on yourself, honestly, instead of bringing other people down. But when you think about it that way, it kind of takes the fear away. Like, I just realized that people who are going to have something negative or rude or shady to say, they're just not happy that they're not taking the opportunities surrounding them. They're not taking a chance on themselves and doing the things that excite them, you know? Like, they're just hating from outside the club. They can't even get in. So forget that. And another really huge thing that has genuinely helped me is I've shifted my focus onto the people in my life who are really supportive and who really want to see me grow and who are excited for me and who love me. And that has really helped me. And I'm lucky and I'm blessed to have such amazing people in my life. And I think that's a really helpful thing to think about. Like, shift your focus onto your cheerleaders, the people who want to see you grow, the people who want to see you succeed, and think about what you're doing and how excited and how happy they would be for you. There is a caveat here, which is that it's really helpful in alleviating that fear when you're just focused on the positive reinforcement. However, it's really important to acknowledge that you're still not doing it for your cheerleaders. Whatever it is that you want to do in life, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. And I say that because if you put so much emphasis on the positive opinions of other people, even if they're your cheerleaders, you are just as easily going to crumble from the negative opinions that may come your way. So yes, focusing on the encouragement of the people in your life that love and support you is a wonderful tool and a wonderful place to shift your focus, as long as you're aware that the decisions you make ultimately are not coming from a place of needing validation and are not being guided by the opinions of other people. And so the very, very last thing that I want to talk about before I let you go is redefining failure and rejection, because that has quite literally been one of the biggest game changers in just me getting over myself. And so what I mean by that is I have literally told myself every day that failure equals success. Failure equals success. I keep repeating this in my head. Failure equals success. And that might not make a lot of sense, but just hear me out for a second. If you do something with all of your heart, okay, you put your effort in, you put yourself out on the line, and you put yourself out there, and then you fall flat on your face, the simple fact that you were willing to do it in the first place, despite the fact that maybe you weren't the best at it, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it wasn't that good. Despite all of that, the fact that you went out there and did it, to me, is a success. To me, that speaks so much more to your character. It just shows that you're brave. It shows that you're courageous. It shows that you have the balls to get out there and do what you want. And that's what's going to give you a successful life ultimately in the future. That character trait, that's a trait we want to be building, a muscle we want to be flexing. And it means that you're fearless. And that just means that failure is bravery, failure is courage, and failure is fearlessness. And failure is wisdom, honestly, because every time you fail, you're learning. You're learning a little bit more, and you're getting back up, and you're going to do it better next time around. So when you think about it that way, instead of thinking in your head like failure means that I'm not good enough, or failure means that I suck, whatever, shift it and tell yourself like, yo, failure's kind of dope. It means that I'm freaking brave. It means that I'm courageous. It means that I am wise. It means that I have the balls to do things that not a lot of people in this world have. And it means that I am ultimately going to be successful in life. So failure equals success. Okay, every failure is a success. And every time you fall flat on your face, you just got to get up and do it again and do it better. And every time you just do it better and better and better until one day you're not even failing anymore and you don't even realize it. So instead of being scared of failure, let's embrace it. Let's fall in love with it every day, and let's tell ourselves every single day, failure equals success. Okay? Failure equals success. It's nothing to be scared of. It's just going to make us better and wiser, and without failure, we can't grow. So just remember that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say to you today. I don't want to speak on anything that I have not experienced. And that's why this episode is so interesting, because this is happening in real time. So if my words didn't inspire you, if you felt nothing by what I said, I hope at the very least that my actions inspire you. Because if you're watching this, it just means that I did the thing. I got over myself and I just did the thing. I recorded this, I edited it, and now it's just out there. And if I can do it, I know damn well so can you.